Hi there everyone, Jack here again at the Vinyl Voyage. Today then is going to be my response to a video that has been going around where people have been showing their favourite album covers in their collection and some of their least favourite. Some of these album covers have been very striking, very creative, very imaginative, extremely representative of the music within, and some of them are just boring, dull, dog shit. So yeah, I've got some of both, some of my favourites and some of my least favourites to show you today. So without further ado, let me show you the first one. A lot of people might not agree with this. This, Now and Then, the final artistic statement from the Beatles, arguably the greatest band who have produced popular music ever to walk the earth, and this, their final creative statement. That is just wank. That's the word that I'm going to use. Not wanker, because that would be incorrect usage, but I could certainly say that it was wank. Just boring, unimaginative. I read somewhere that these lines, if you superimpose them over the the blue album and the red album, that they perfectly align. And who cares? This looks rubbish. Just boring. I'm sure they could have come up with something better than that. That to me says Paul McCartney. Not that I dislike Paul McCartney, but that definitely says Paul McCartney. That would even have been better as the front cover, and that's pretty wank. But yeah, terrible. I can't believe that that's the best they can come up with. A band with such a rich history, so many things that they could have drawn upon, and that is just, yeah, nonsense. Okay, next up then, I'm kind of pulling these kind of at random. Where is it? Ah, okay. Another classic band then, with I suppose kind of one of their later albums. Not later, but a bit later in their career. Quadrophenia by The Who. I love that album cover. While Now and Then, I think, tries to pull off like this kind of classy cover, it just massively fails, whereas that just does look really classy from the font all the way around the edges to the lone mod on his scooter, and then just within the mirrors of his scooter, you've got the individual faces of The Who. Keith Moon looking kind of deranged. You've got The Who on the back of the mod's Parker, and then that back cover as well. He's got a fantastic image of the scooter and the sea. Yeah, what an amazing album cover. I love that. Brilliant album as well, obviously, but yeah, very representative of the music inside, but really classy cover. Okay, next up then, we have another one of my favourites. So this is a half Scottish, half German krautrock band called The Message, or Message, and this is their album From Books and Dreams from 1973 on Bellophone. What a striking album cover that is. It just looks really, really cool. Again, really representative of the music. It's kind of hard rock in a similar vein to Sabbath, a little bit more psychedelic. Yeah, love that album cover. Really striking image. And then it's really cool in the back, and in the gatefold as well, looks really cool. I like on the liner notes to this, so it's quite a bit of an odd combination, a Scottish/German krautrock band, but you've got Tommy McGuigan on vocals and Horst Starshelhouse on bass. And then you've got Alan Murdoch on guitar and Gunther Klingel on drums. And I even like their special thanks. Special thanks to our favourite roadies, Rab and Werner. So yeah, good stuff. Message. Love this album cover. Really cool. This is probably going to be a bad one. Yeah. Lazy. Come on. You know, David Bowie, again, one of the most artistic and creative musicians the world's ever seen. And he takes the Heroes album cover and just plonks a big white square over the top of it and writes in the next day. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm sure someone can tell me the artistic significance behind this, but I'm not seeing it. It just looks lazy and boring. And while the original Heroes cover looks cool and is a striking photograph in itself, yeah, this big white square. Come on, Come on, David. I'm sure you could come up with something better than that. But there we go. What we got next then? Let's see. This one will cause some controversy. So Jimmy Campbell's album Half Baked from 1970 on Vertigo. So I love this album cover, and I've seen this album shown a couple of times on the VC, and every time it's been shown, in the comments, people have been kind of split on the album cover. Now I think it looks really, really cool. I love the kind of surrealness of these two kind of sad clowns. You get the kind of female clown and then the male clown hold their hand in a forest. So that looks like kind of weird, and I like the pink typeface. But then when you go into the back and you see the raven just watching there, and then this kind of sinister figure right in the background, almost like a kind of Grim Reaper, it just adds a whole different dimension to it. If you don't like clowns, you might not like it. I like it so much that I've got it up here as well on my wall. But yeah, I love that album cover. Really weird and different. But Jimmy Campbell, his next album, how bad is that? This lazy typeface up the top here, just scrolled across. And then he's wearing this Texan tuxedo, double denim, which just looks really tacky. And then for some reason, he's got his face on a stick. That's just a horrendous album cover on a really, really great album. But it probably paid off for me that this album cover is so bad, because I picked this up for £2 off of someone, and I'm sure it's because they just thought it was absolute garbage, the album, because the album cover obviously is so wank. But yeah, Jimmy, it's not good enough. Next up then, another one of my favourites. I've shown this album a couple of times before in my videos, Mantra. Again, a really striking album cover. I love this big bold typeface, just with the band's name, and then this again really kind of striking image of the tree with the sun coming from behind. So Mantra, they were like a kind of psych folk band from Canada. This is, was it 1971? I think this is. Yeah, really, really good. I love this album, and great album cover. Another beauty, one of my favourites, Stone Roses' debut. The artwork by Stone Roses guitarist John Squire, and this painting that he did in the background, he did all the artwork for the early Stone Roses sleeves with this kind of Jackson Pollock style splatter artwork. This one's called Bye Bye Badman, and it was kind of inspired by when the Stone Roses played in Ireland. He said it was inspired by the colours that he saw at the Giant's Causeway. So that's the kind of back artwork. But then you've got these chopped lemons here, and this French flag down the side, and that's got significance as well. The Stone Roses were really interested in the Paris student riots in 1968. So you've got the French flag as a reference to the Paris riots, and then the lemons are there because they said that to battle the tear gas, they said that sucking on lemons would help the students battle against the effects of the tear gas that the police used. So that's the kind of significance of them. But yeah, again, a really bold typeface that just stands out. It looks really cool. And I love the back cover as well. It's like a really iconic image of the band as well, in full flow. Cressa there on the background, providing good vibes. Yeah, really, really cool album cover. John Squire's early album covers are brilliant. Really good. But then unfortunately, he came up with this earlier this year. So this is the album that he put together with Liam Gallagher, and he came up with this monstrosity, which is just looks like a load of, I don't know, adverts cut out of a Lidl sales catalogue, washing up powder and deodorant, and I think it's some type of statement about the disposable nature of modern life or something like that. It just looks garbage. It's garish and horrible. The rest of it looks good, you know, like the type up the top looks good, and the white background, but I don't know why they just didn't have a picture of Liam Gallagher and John Squire, because that is wank. Nae good. Next one, another completely boring album cover from a great band, Hindu Love Gods, another collaboration, this time with Warren Zevon and R.E.M. R.E.M., I love all their album covers from early in their career, so this must have been Warren's doing, because Warren Zevon's album covers generally are pretty rubbish. It's just as boring as it gets. You know, who signed off on this? Even if they'd used that image of the band on the front, it would have been better, but yeah, that's horrendous. And that's, for me, a good go-to. If you can't come up with a good idea for your album cover, just stick the band in the front. The specials make it look so easy. They all look cool. They've got shades on and suits. It really speaks of the personality and the whole kind of image of the band. And then another really cool image in the back as well. So yeah, that's your go-to. If you're in a band, you can't think of what to come up with, just stick a cool image of the band in the front. Oh, that's boring. It's terrible. For a double album as well, Eat It, live double album from Humble Pie. Just horrible colours. Just looks lazy. And then they've got these great images inside of the band playing live. That'd have been so much better on the front cover. Yeah. Another stinker. Let's see. So this is the Picnic sampler, A Breath of Fresh Air. This was the Harvest sampler, the Harvest record label. The cover's by Hypnosis. I really like this one. It's really cool. Shows the nuclear family on a day trip to the beach to have a picnic. So you can see them there wearing their gas masks in kind of typical surreal Hypnosis fashion. And then on the back, you've got this dead crow. One of the kids just on looking. Yeah, really like that. That's a cool one. Picnic, A Breath of Fresh Air. Hypnosis. Another clipart special. Vampire Weekend, Father of the Bride. It's just terrible. It's just lazy. Like, anybody could knock that up, I think, in, what, a minute and a half on a PC. It's just rubbish. It's in the middle. Yeah, that's not much better. And I think all the early Vampire Weekend albums had really cool album covers. The Modern Vampires of the City's got a brilliant album cover. And Contra, really cool album cover as well. But yeah, that's terrible. Just no imagination, just looks lazy and just thrown together. There's a cool one. Another kind of surreal image, this time from Neutral Milk Hotel, from their album from '98, and the aeroplane over the sea. That's like a really, really striking album cover, like a kind of old photograph from, I don't know, like the 1930s or something like that. But then with this kind of surreal element where instead of the lady's face, you've got, it looks like a drum or a tambourine or something like that. It's a drum. Then all these kind of surreal images on the back as well. Yeah, love this one. Oh, it's another really unimaginative one. The Pixies. This was their comeback album, Indie Cindy, and it's just, how bad is that? Just lazy, and looks like it's taken them like, I don't know, 20 seconds to come up with the idea and not much longer to execute it. It looks like it's been done on a computer, and yeah, it's just rubbish. You think of the early Pixies albums as well, or like the Come On Pilgrim mini album. It's got a really cool surreal album cover. Surfer Rosa is obviously an amazing album cover. Doolittle the same. Bossa Nova not quite so good. Trompe Le Monde not quite so good. So I think they've got worse over time. Most of the later album covers aren't great either, but it's a shame because the early Pixies album covers are so representative of their sound, or especially like Come On Pilgrim and Doolittle. They're so kind of weird and yeah, surreal looking. Yeah, that's terrible. And I really like this album as well. It's a good album, but what a stinker of an album cover. And finally, how to look cool in an album cover. John Prine just kicking it in his car. He looks like he's just living in his car. He doesn't care though. He's got a tank of gas and a packet of cigarettes and his guitar in the back seat. He doesn't need anything else. Yeah, just awesome. That's how to do an album cover. Just like really representative of the music as well, I think. And there we go. Just enjoying the view. So there we go. Some of my favourite album covers in my collection. Some of the wank album covers in my collection. Until the next time, see you later. Bye for now.